These are the corrective exercises for the deep squat of the functional movement screen. The first one will be the Brettel Stretch. The second one will be the Lunge Stretch or the hip flexor stretch. The third one will be the Gastrocnemius Stretch. And then we will move into the Pike push squat exercise. This next stretch is called the Brettel Stretch, which is really good for pitchers. This will facilitate or actually help you with hip, shoulder, or hip trunk separation during the throwing or pitching motion. So Mike, I'd like you to go ahead and just lie on your left side just like you are there. I'd like you to take your right leg up to a 90-degree angle with the hip and knee at 90 degrees. Your other leg and hip should be straight and then a 90-degree here. Take your top hand, reach down, and grab your ankle. Lie flat. Put this hand behind this knee and pull this knee up towards your chest. Rotate backwards and hold that stretch for 30 seconds. You should feel a nice stretch through your quadricep, your trunk, and actually your hip down here as well. You're going to hold this for 30 seconds, breathing deeply, trying to relax into the stretch. As you inhale and exhale slowly, you will probably notice that you're able to rotate back a little bit further and further with each exhale. Again, holding this for 30 seconds, coming out of the stretch, taking a break, and then going back into the stretch for another 30 seconds. I'd like you to do 3 of these on this side and then flip around and do 3 on the other side. This next stretch is called the Lunge Stretch, and it helps with the anterior or the front part of the hip and also the hip flexors. So Mike, just while you're in the lunge position there, I would like you to take your right hand, put it back here behind your hip. While you're maintaining that position in an upright posture, I'd just like you to lean forward, keeping that right knee on the ground until you feel a nice stretch across the front part of your hip here, and you might even be feeling it into the quadricep as well. I'd like you to hold that for 30 seconds, do 3 of those on the right, and then switch, and then do 3 of those on the left. So the next exercise or stretch is called the Gastrocnemius Stretch. So the first stretch you're going to be doing is targeting the gastrocnemius muscle, or the calf muscle. So what I'd like you to do is stand against the wall, try to keep both toes pointed straight toward the wall, and then you're going to lean forward, keeping your hips under and this knee straight. This heel should stay on the ground as well. You should feel a nice stretch back here on your calf muscle. I'd like you to hold this stretch for 30 seconds. You're going to do this 3 times per leg. From here, after you do this stretch, what you can do now is you can bend the knee, keeping the heel on the ground. Bending the knee, you're going to feel this stretch in a little different area. This is a stretch targeting the soleus muscle, which is under the gastrocnemius. Again, you're going to hold this stretch for 30 seconds and do 3 of these per leg. This next exercise is called the Pike push squat. So Mike, what I'd like you to do is stand with your feet about shoulder width apart, toes pointing forward, maybe a little bit out slightly. I'd like you to keep your hands together and go down and try to touch the floor. Once you're there, I'd like you to go ahead and squat down into that position, raising your right arm up and over your head. Rotate your head and look up toward that shoulder and hand. Bring your head back to the neutral position, and now raise the other arm up and over, rotating to that side, looking up to that side. Bring your head back to the neutral position and stand up. Good. And then come back to the start position and then do another one, please, except this time you're going to raise your left arm first and then your right. up. Good, good stretch. Back to neutral. Raise your right, look up. Good stretch, back to neutral, and then stand up. I'd like you to do 10 of those.